but
The next story is yours, my friend.
So I'm actually really, really excited about this. The Japanese branch of Amazon, they're listing a bonus Girls und Panzer Blu-ray disc with the Japanese Blu-ray release of the World War II film Fury, which stars Brad Pitt. Now, the really interesting thing about this, and this is the really good part, is it will contain a special promotional video for not only the upcoming Girls und Panzer movie, but 2 special segments that basically talk about the tank that they use in the Fury movie. And that is priceless. That is just gold right there. I would buy this just to watch that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be sub, but
I'm just baffled, like, what the fuck is the connection? It's just like, they're both about tank crews, I guess. So, obviously, bundle them together.
I mean, it's for surely going to boost the sales of Fury on, Blu-ray for Japan. Because people are like,
anime.
Gotta get that. Yeah, that's the only big thing I could think of, but it's so weird because I've watched a little bit of Girls in Panzer and, for a show that has drag racing with tanks, an actual World War II based film that's supposed to, kind of delve into actual, well, they say actual, things that happened. It's like,
they couldn't be farther apart, is the point.
Yeah.
They're both about tank crews, but they're not even remotely similar in any other way than that.
It's gonna be great.
I mean, one's about a real tank crew with men, with actual military men, and then the other one's about school-aged girls in short skirts and school uniforms fucking around in tanks. That's all I can describe it as. They're fucking around in tanks.
You know what I would pay for, though? I would pay for those girls to, narrate throughout Fury, and it'd be probably, the most innate, mindless stuff. But it would be so out there, so in the left field, that would be like Tommy Wiseau at Uwe Boll's level of brilliant. Where you're just like, this is the dumbest thing ever, but yet I can't stop watching it.
I mean, it'd probably be total ridiculous contrast because the girls would be like gasping in their moe shit voices and being like,
yes!
Oh my god, what the hell was that? And like, yo, it'd be retarded as fuck.
AAO!
It'd be retarded. Let's be serious. It'd be retarded.
It would be great, you know it. Don't lie. You're totally about that. I know you're fangirling right now.
If by great you mean retarded, then sure.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, next one. Madoka Magica Movie 3 Rebellion gets English dub. Madoka 3 sucks. Movie 3 Rebellion sucks. They're getting English dub though, so it can suck in 2 languages. You can watch it with a shitty English dub, which will probably be the same cast as the original series release in America, which has a really bad dub. And
I gotta say that was probably the most disappointing thing about the English conversion is, okay, I don't mind dub, I'll say that, I'll watch both, but I know there could be good and bad, but to be this late in the game for when the Western side of the world's been involved in anime, you think by now they would have a better understanding of integrating newer voice actors or actresses with older, and it's just, you look at the cast roster, it's all new, and it's below par, actually, for what a series should be, which is really, really disappointing.
Well, that's all there is to that one. The next one is one of the dumb little articles that they sometimes post on ANN, which is where someone writes something really dumb and ignorant, and this is a list of long-lost anime twins.
What in the world am I looking at?
It's like basically comparing characters side by side and being like, these people are basically the same. Like, so they have James from Pokemon and Mitsuki Sarue, which is from The Devil is a Part Hataraku Mao-sama. And I guess they kind of look similar, maybe?
I guess for facial expression, but yeah, that's kind of a stretch. Hairstyle?
I mean, they're not actually that similar, really.
No, that's really kind of leaping pretty heavily there.
Really grasping for straws. And then the writer is like, well, they're totally different personality-wise, I guess, but so whatever. So that's the kind of what encapsulates how pointless this kind of list is. The next one is Lunar Edomae, which is from My Bride is a Mermaid, and Madoka Kaname, which is from Madoka Magica, and they look really similar with their pink hair, I guess, and their short tails and pink eyes. And that's it. And then it says, oh look, they have totally different personalities once again. So that's kind of like, what's the point?
What a surprise!
What's the point in this comparison again? The next one, though, I see these characters look fucking like identical. Are you looking at this? They look like the same fucking guy. They have like the same toothy grin face with the serious eyebrows.
Well, that's the thing too, is with Rin Okodama from Blue Exorcist and Grey Fullbuster from Fairy Tail. They're actually personality-wise kind of similar to degrees too, with how they function in their own world. So that's probably the one pair on this list that I would actually give a nod to, because they're still different characters, but out of everyone on the list, they're probably the most similar, both from physical appearance as well as personality.
I just kind of get the impression just from looking at them that they're both generic shonen guys.
Yeah, they are actually. They both love to fight. They're both, good-hearted. They fight for the right cause, but they both kind of got that spur in them too, to where they'll argue. They're quick-tempered, but they got a heart of gold, so it's all good.
Okay, so the next one is the one that actually caught my attention because it was the thumbnail for the news article, which is Taiga from Toradora versus Ryo. I don't know why they fucking put X. Like, why do they put X between these two? Like, Taiga X Ryoko, like it's a pairing.
That's a pairing.
When it's comparing them, they're verses. It's like verses. It's more like verses. Like, what the fuck? Okay, anyways. So, it's like saying, like, okay, so the short Spitfire Taiga could easily grow up to be Ryoko if only she'd hit that growth spurt. Both are classic tsundere, both have animal namesakes, tiger and wolf, and both start out less than impressed with their male counterparts. This, of course, gradually changes over time as they eventually fall in love with Ryochi/Ryuji. At least their love interests aren't particularly similar outside of their names.
No.
The thing is that Taiga is like a copy-paste tsundere, like a total by-the-book, stereotypical tsundere character. Mm-hmm. And she's abusive to the main guy and has a small breast complex, Patenko. So they both have long brown hair and brown eyes. But that's about all I can say that's similar between them, because I actually watched both of these series in their entirety, so I can say that they're really different actually in their personality and their, like, so Ryoko is like a parody of a tsundere, because the show actually parodies a lot of things from anime, Okami and her 7 companions. Taiga is just a stereotypical tsundere played straight.
Yeah.
And Ryoko is a parody, and the show is aware of how ridiculous her personality is and points it out. And so, but Ryoko actually has a really good reason for acting the way she does, which is really rare for tsunderes nowadays to have an actual, like, legitimate justification for acting so caustic towards the whoever person, main guy. And it actually makes a lot of sense for Ryoko and Ryoshi, for their relationship.
No, that actually was the one pair that really ticked me off the most, because, like you, I've seen both shows. I really like Ryoko's character. I like how they chose to handle it in the manner that you said. That's a cliche. The show knows it. How they chose to develop the character. Her relationship with him, she's not, unimpressed with her male counterpart. It's there's a reason behind that.
Yeah,
You know,
she has something she has something dark in her past that's gives her good reason to push guys away from her.
Yeah, it's just that's absolutely ridiculous. It's so terrible. It's not even funny. Especially love how they say it could easily grow up to be Ryoko, but they're both high school students.
Taiga is just a cunt. She's just a cunt, and there's no reason for her to be such a cunt. And so that's where the similarities end. They just look similar, kind of, with their hair and their eyes, and that's it.
And the list!
Yeah, the list. And then there's this one that's two old guys who gives a shit. And then there's
I love it.
And then there's the actual one that actually has some kind of foundation. There's actually this is like the one good comparison in this whole list, which is Tsukasa and Kagami from Lucky Star and Ryo and Kyo from Clannad. Tsukasa and Ryo are both the quiet purple hair twin, soft-spoken one, and Kagami and Kyo are both the partially tsundere, loud mouth ones. Yeah. Have you seen you've seen both these series, Michael?
Yeah, and I actually really like this too because the characters really don't look alike, but in terms of personality, I feel that it best fits what the list was supposed to be. Because they do fit. I mean, they both balance each other out. As you said, one's quiet, one's more loud. And it's, in terms of personality, they couldn't be almost more identical to each other. So, yeah, no, I thought that was really nice. I'm glad they included them on this list, because it'd be really stupid if they didn't.
I mean, that's like I said, it's like the only one that actually fits. I guess, yeah, that actually has, like, basis.
Yeah, which, unlike the first one, which bothers me for a lot of reasons.
And then there's two girls who gives a shit.
Yeah. You know, they're designed by the same character. It's almost implied to some degree to actually be the same character. And, of course, they're at the top of the list, so it's, you know.
Have you seen both of those shows, Michael?
Yes. Regrettably,
how about you talk about them really quick, then?
So, number one is Golden Darkness from To Love Ru and Eve from Black Cat. And they're designed by the same creator, Kentaro Yabuki, and essentially were, in some degree, for fan speculation, when To Love Ru first came out, Black Cat was first done by the artist, and then he went on to do the artwork for To Love Ru. Essentially, they were assumed to be the same character, so there's assumed to be some sort of crossover universe between To Love Ru and Black Cat. They're two separate characters, but I mean, it's literally a copy pasta of the two characters. I mean, there's no beating around the bush. It really is.
I'm looking at these two girls, and they're so similar in every respect. Okay, so first of all, they got the collar that's like loose around their neck and pops up, and is tall, like a turtleneck thing. They both have the same hair and eye color. They both have a cross shape on their chest. One of them has like an actual like cross, and the other one has like a hole-shaped star cross or whatever. And they both have detached sleeves, and they both have the same leather-looking clothes.
Yeah. And their personalities are also the same, too. The character is played pretty much exactly the same. I mean, Golden Darkness for To Love Ru changes when they go into darkness, which... but it's one of those things where it literally is the exact same character. In fact, I think they may actually be the same. I don't want to say yes or no, because I don't remember for sure, because it's been several years, but... Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. That was a long time for that one fucking story.
List!
Holy shit. But yeah, I guess that one was really worth talking about for once.
Yes.
But
an exercise in sanity.
It really exemplifies how dumb these content creators are on these types of on these news sites, like the stupidity of their articles. You want to talk about the stupidity of their episode review parts right now?
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
So, in case you're not familiar, Anime News Network has a bunch of articles on a lot of the content on their site is quote unquote episode reviews for currently airing shows.
It's essentially, it boils down to basically being the same thing as a first impression, except unlike watching a video, you're reading up on it, and they cover it in a similar format to reviewing. They even give it a grade at the end, but yet they actually don't really review it. They just talk about the episode.
The thing that's most funny is I actually read a couple of these, and I shouldn't have been surprised, but I guess I kind of was, at how much of it was just like summarizing what happened in the episode. I'm just like, the people who are going to be watching or reading this article are going to be people who have already seen the episode. So why the fuck are you summing up everything that already happened that everybody saw? It's like those reviews that when people are talking about the story, they just give a synopsis, and that's their critique of the story, quote unquote. And so for an episode review, I don't see how there's enough stuff there to call it a review even.
No, it's really weird. Like, I get, breaking down an episode, how it works in the long haul of a show, but you won't really know how an episode works until you've watched more of the show to see how it balances in comparison. Like, you can think an episode doesn't work well, but it could actually be building the show up to where it really reaches a climax in the next episode, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't really care for it, but in retrospect, this actually works really well. It's like, I don't know, it's the weirdest thing ever, and I don't understand who designed the format or why they went with that format.
More things for people to click on, more ads potentially.
Please click on this, you dumb idiots!
Yeah. I mean, it's like whenever I see episode review, I like in my head I see like 20 quotation marks around the word review, because the like you said when we were talking earlier, the word review is just thrown around so much nowadays, even when it's terrible, when it's not appropriate to be used.
I think they need to redefine review then, because what is a review at that point then? Is it just where you sit down, you talk about the show? It's, I guess, hey, here's a synopsis. It's actually a review. Quotation fingers.
Synopsis does not equal review. That's the moral of the story, guys. If you want to review something well, don't put a synopsis.
Please don't. Break into it. Don't be afraid to take time to do so. If you're worried about time constraints, then you probably shouldn't be reviewing, or else you'd be cutting back on other things.
Okay, so the next story is...
Ooh, yes!
This one's really easy to talk about. It's Da Capo Tube Dearest Marriage Visual Novels promo streamed. You seem like you actually know something about this, Michael. Do you know something about this?
Years ago, I watched the Da Capo anime, which was pretty bad, but it was kind of interesting because they went down one of the character routes, and it was really interesting because one of the other heroines got upset. The best friend of the main guy went down the route, got pissed off at him. It was really interesting because it actually had human reaction behind it, but it wasn't by any means good. But this is a very, very long-running series. Been going on since the early 2000s.
I did watch this promotional video that they have.
Fantastic.
And it was just like, oh my god, it's just a generic harem visual novel.
That is absolutely what it is now. It was even like that before. There was really nothing unique except there was time travel involved, and you could date your stepsister / sleep with her. So
what?
Well, yeah, she was your stepsister.
Oh yeah. Well, never mind. That's
right.
I guess the time travel thing was just still in my head. I'm just like, incest is totally run of the mill in harems. So I don't know why I said what at that point.
Yeah. Probably the only most noteworthy thing was Kotori, who was a phenomenal long-haired redhead girl who really was Blandy McBlanderson, but I liked her, so that's all that mattered.
I mean, as I was watching this promotional video, these girls, I can just looking at them, I can just see their archetype, their stereotype right off the bat. I can just tell what kind of girl it is just by looking at them. And some of the shots, they actually show like a girl, like one of the girls with the guy, and they explicitly don't show the guy's face. And I'm like, oh, it's one of those ones where the guy is the literal nobody.
That's right. It's self-insertion to the max. Now you too can marry your waifu.
I mean, that's what it's all about. It's like, get married. Let's get married. That's the point.
Bitch, please, let's go get married now. Screw going through a wedding ceremony. Let's go to the courthouse. Elope.
Screw going to the courthouse. Let's get in my bed.
Ooh.
God. Alright, generic harem. Nothing new there. Here's... Fuck. Fucking Japan. Here's some fucking Japan for you. Magical Girl, Lyrical Nanoha, Love Live get official credit cards. Yay.
Oh, dude, I am so down with that. Oh, yes.
Please tell me you're being sarcastic.
Yes. Okay. Because the last thing I want to do when I go into an establishment and pay for goods, and they have to take a look at my credit card, is see that I got a bunch of animated teenage girls in my card and go, oh.
Not even teenage in like the case of Lyrical Nanoha. Well, there might not. Well, some, but they might not even be.
Levy
teenage.
Russell is a boss, man. Look at that. He's not afraid to represent.
What the fuck? Levy Russell. I mean, like, why would you want this? I mean, why would you want to go into an establishment and hand the person your credit card and advertise the fact that you like underage girls? Like, that's what Lyrical Nanoha is. I've seen the Lyrical Nanoha movie, whatever, or one of the movies. I think there's more than one. But, it's a very run-of-the-mill Maho Shoujo that has some very overt pedo pandering in it. And
it's nice when they get older, but yeah, the first season is really terrible for that.
And I mean, just looking at this is like,
you know you want one. I know you're all like, oh, I see that Nanaho one, and I'm like, please,
no,
bikini.
I don't want any of these. I don't want these girls with like look at the Love Live ones. These girls have like these skirts are so fucking short that if they bent over like 5 inches, then you could see their panties. Like, there's no point in even having skirts at the point because they're so fucking short.
Well, this begs the question though.
Look at these shorts.
Oh, I see it.
They're fucking
like
short.
I like the one with the red hair with the top hat, little hat tilted off to the side. I'm down with that. Actually,
the hat.
I'm trying to divert my eyes someplace else. As you can tell,
I guess the hat is okay.
The hat is okay. So
hat, you can stay.
Would you get yourself an anime credit card? Ever? Of anything?
Actually, maybe. Not these, like, really big-time otaku pandering shit. Let me think. What exactly would I want one of? Do you have any you would want one of in particular, Michael, while I'm trying to think? Would you want one at all?
I don't know. See, that's what I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between. If I did, I'd probably go retro, like something like Cowboy Bebop or Trigun. So, or maybe it was a particular scene from Neon Genesis. I may do something like that, like one of the Avas and Angels fighting. Maybe something like that.
Oh,
that
something cool mecha scene.
Yeah.
The last thing I'd want on my credit card is a bunch of underage girls making really creepily, uncomfortably cute poses on my Visa.
You know, if I'm going to go down that route, I'm just going to go, like, full barrel. Like, just give me something that's, like, borderline. Where something like, there's, like, symbols on the card that actually have to cover her up.
Oh my god!
It's so uncomfortably awkward for everyone involved. Like the teller, anyone around me.
Like, she's, like, obviously butt naked and there's, like, censor bars and shit over her or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And she's, like, obviously, like, 9. Oh my god.
That would be perfect right there. Just
full
bore.
No.
All in, man. No hold bar.
I'd hope someone that had a card like that would get arrested for child pornography.
Probably would.
In America, at least. But it's more run-of-the-mill in Japan, so nobody really cares in Japan because it's so mainstream, actually. It's actually not that abnormal.
Oh my.
So that's just one of the things that's called fucking Japan.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, well, I guess nothing that bad.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't think I could take any more than that.
Yeah. Well, there's numerous articles that had, like, that were just like of some particular title, some IP that just had some really generic moe blob looking girls on them that were just like, well, I don't know what this is. I don't care because it looks generic girls in anime. But this one. So why am I looking at a Naruto Shippuden episode 396 review, quote unquote? The only reason I clicked on this at all is the fact that there are fucking TVs. Look at that picture, Michael. There are TVs in Naruto now, I guess.
What? What? What?
It looks like a live feed security camera, some feed or something like that.
Well, hey, it may not be the most action-oriented episode, but it's the best so far in this anime original story.
That means it's filler.
Yeah.
Whenever they say anime original story, that means it's filler shit.
Okay, so have you ever seen the anime Case Closed, Detective Conan?
Oh no, there's too many episodes.
Yeah, I have a love-hate with that. But I love the comparison where they say it's almost like Naruto meets Case Closed, minus the dead bodies and shrewd murder plots. That was the whole thing with Case Closed. That was like the gimmick, was that it was kind of edgy because the murders were a little bit darker and, But I especially love the fact that Amy is a YA fantasy author who has loved anime for 2 decades.
Oh, young adult.
I caught that at the end, and I was like, yes, I could tell this is going to be a quality episode review. No offense to Amy.
Wow. No, I mean offense to that. I'll put all the offense into a young adult fantasy author. I don't have any respect for the young adult genre at this point. At all. But yeah, so there's more filler in Naruto. What a surprise! But the manga's done. So why are they still doing filler?
Gotta stretch it out for as long as possible because hey, I haven't paid off that Ferrari yet.
I wonder if they're gonna go for exactly 400 episodes.
That's a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if they went for 500. Actually,
there's a shit ton. They could pull it off. There's enough. They could just recycle a bunch of filler from previous seasons.
I could easily see that then.
Okay, well that's enough Naruto. Last thing is Attack on Titan's Universal Studios Japan attraction opens. So when I was looking for news to talk about on ANN, it was just disgusting how much Attack on Titan there was.
Holy cow.
It's like every day there was something Attack on Titan related. Like almost every day. And here's one of the bigger ones, which was a Universal attraction, Universal Studios attraction. Which is really... Okay, so I don't understand the ridiculous amounts of hype on Attack on Titan, because there's shit's been overhyped a lot. But Attack on Titan is far and away the most overhyped anime I've ever seen, ever. I don't understand. It's like a worldwide phenomenon. It's like everywhere. And it's not even that good, but like at all, but it's everywhere. Why is it exploded so much, but nothing else has exploded to this ridiculous degree?
It's got like that X factor to it. Like, I remember about half a year before the anime came out, a friend of mine introduced me to the manga, and I'd read through the manga, and I won't lie, I really liked it. I really got into it. I kind of stopped reading after a while because I kind of lost interest, but I get why people like it a lot. I haven't seen the anime, so I really can't say... Well, I've kind of watched a few episodes here and there, but not enough to really say I've seen it. But, yeah, it's one of those things where... I mean, it's huge in Japan. Absurdly huge. So I get them doing this, but I mean,
there are Attack on Titan crossovers with everything too.
Yeah, it's I guess I don't really know for sure because, like you said, from what I saw with the anime, I didn't really think it was terribly exceptional. I thought the manga was far better done than the anime from what I saw and what I read. But yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's got that element where it's hooked people, it's brought them on board, but yet at the same time, it hasn't really caught people the same way that something like Bleach, Naruto, Detective Conan, or referencing back to our earlier article, Dragon Ball Z has. So I don't know, it's like this weird, it's at this weird place where it's popular, but yet it hasn't, like, hit that point. I don't know. But for some reason, yeah, Anime News Network just loves to talk about this. And talk.
Probably because people will click on it.
And talk, yeah.
I mean, I think that one of the most appealing factors in Attack on Titan, one of the particular specific reasons why Attack on Titan is so big is because of, like, and so talked about, is the shock value, the very, very prevalent use of shock. And edginess, general edginess all over the place. Yeah. Like, so edge you could cut yourself on it, but
crawling in my skin. And you know that I won't lie, that is part of what drew me in. I will admit that. I'm not ashamed to admit. Well, a little, but you know, I will admit that that's kind of what drew me in. But yeah, it's. You need something more to keep you to stay, and some people have been able to find that, and good for them, but...
I watched the entire TV anime, and I could not find any substance beyond... hardly any substance beyond the metric tons of shock value and edginess.
Ooh.
That was all that I saw that differentiated it from stereotypical shonen, but... It's not seinen, by the way, guys. It's not seinen.
No, it is. It is not. It really isn't.
Just because there's blood and people die doesn't mean it's seinen.
No, there have been plenty of violent shonen out there well before Attack on Titan. So yeah, no.
Like Dead Man Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
And Naruto.
That's actually a perfect example.
Naruto had a bunch of blood and shit, but. Whatever. Nobody likes Naruto. Actually, people do like Naruto.
You better take that back, because they're gonna say immediately, well, I do, so you're full of it. You lie!
Nobody who matters likes Naruto anymore. How about that?
That's even worse!
Shots fired. Anymore, that's the key part. I don't think there was anything wrong with liking Naruto way back when it was not a steaming pile of clusterfuck mess shit.
And won't lie, I really liked it up to the whole shooting exam thing, and then I dropped that like a rock.
Yeah, after the tuning exams, I was just like, well, you're losing me. And then when Shippuden started, I was like, this is shit!
It's like, what are you doing? Oh, that's right, you're printing money. Okay, carry on. Have fun.
That's all it is printing money. There's like no effort involved in the writing anymore. But, anyways... So that's all the news for today.
Thank goodness.
Yes, there was anything else you want to talk about?
No, I was like, oh, thank goodness, that's
yeah, finally.
Finally, yes. No, that was the interesting and exciting things going on in the anime world. Oh wow.
It's not really. I was shocked by how little good news, like things to get excited about there was.
I'm assuming it's because it's January, but I don't know.
Yeah, fuck you, it's January. Like the Red Letter Media
or
video.
You know, it may actually turn out to be fuck you, it's year.
Yeah. It's probably going to be that because, well, let's be honest. What year has been really good for anime?
Ooh.
I can't think of any.
There have been certain moments where I gain hope, but yeah, no, it's been a while. I can tell you that.
That's probably because just by like I looked at from the first impressions of the anime of this new season, just looking at the titles and looking at the artwork and the synopses, they're just churning out more of the same generic shit, like a lot of it, and it's not stopping.
Yeah, and the worst part is I've done first impressions of some of the stuff that you've covered, and even though you haven't watched it, you've been spot on.
You want to talk about that really quick while we're I guess since you're on here and we're recording.
No, that's okay. I'm not going to shamelessly plug. That's not my style.
Well, how about you just talk about what things I have been right on just by looking at my first impressions.
Well, Absolute Duo. I don't even need to quote anything there because you were spot on. Junketsu no Maria was another one of those things too, where it's been a show that's been massively hyped for its plot. I haven't seen anything past episode 2, but I can tell you the plot is a mess. The main character is excessively used for fan service and sexualized. She's not even properly developed as a character. The show mixes various mythologies. They combine heaven with Valhalla, which, hey, fine, but okay. So it's Idolmaster is what it is, but at least you know what you're getting, and it's unapologetic about that. So more idols, more things. Yuri Kuma Arashi, yet again, you were spot on for that. It is a mind fuck to literally describe it. It's also just a lot of parody, so it's kind of good fun to watch, but it depends on the mood. And then, of course, there is Kantai Collection, which... are you even familiar with the MOBA of it? Or actually, the MOBA, or whatever it's called, the mobile game. I can't remember. There's a terminology for it.
Nope. I've never heard of it.
Okay, well...
Well, no, I did read about that. I read that there is one that exists when I was reading the synopsis of the anime.
I mean, the show is pretty much, hey, have you heard of this? Do you know about this? Well, if you're interested, you don't know, you're going to research. If you're not and you don't know, you're going to be confused the entire time because nothing's going to make sense to you and you're just going to be lost. Well, we just continue to barrel on while the fans of the show sip tea and laugh. Because that's...
I don't understand, but okay.
Well, basically it's the thing where, hey, thing isn't explained. If you know thing, then you know thing. So thing and show will make sense, but thing isn't explained to anyone who doesn't know about it. They just jump right into it.
Oh, so it's just one of those anime that's only for the fans of this original material.
See, and then you're summarizing, and I'm doing this big roundabout explanation. How dare you? Who do you think you are?
How dare I succinctly word things?
Yeah, come on. Get off your high horse here. Seriously.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be better.
But no, I mean, and... I don't know. It seems like anime gets like that every season. I don't know. Maybe I'm an old man. Get off my lawn, kids! But, I don't know. It's... Japan, try harder.
I lost a lot of hope for anime, or even more hope for anime when I was looking at all the typical stuff that they have coming out, but just not just anime, but media in general.
Well,
games and anime.
At least we can have hope, though, for the Key X PA Works production.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I really am hoping for something. I mean, especially since I was so underwhelmed by Little Busters. I did not like Little Busters at all, the anime. And I actually dropped it. It's the only Key anime I've ever dropped.
Oh, wow. When did you drop it?
Episode 6, I think. Ooh. 6 or 8, somewhere in there. I think it was 6. I could not put up with it anymore, though. And as part of it was thanks to JC staff and their terrible production values, especially compared to like coming off of PA Works and Angel Beats, which was so amazing looking, but JC staff is just terrible production studio. And I'm glad that they're doing PA Works for this new Key anime, though. So at least the technical side of things is not something that needs to be worried about. I just need to worry about the quality of the writing. And I'm excited about seeing the possible maybe connection with Angel Beats that it might have. Who knows? That would be interesting. I'm interested to see that. But,
I'm a little intrigued.
But, yeah. Well, I guess that's one of the news stories that I guess we should have talked about, I guess. But we're talking about it now. The fact
there we go. Save the best for last.
Yeah. There's a spoiler that came out that showed that that talked about how Charlotte, the new Key anime, animated by PA Works, the new totally original animation project, is could be related to Angel Beats. The main character, the main girl, Charlotte. I can see a lot of resemblance between her and Kanade, actually. So I'm excited to see if there's any kind of link, potentially, story-wise.
Gotta say, man, I am too. I'm actually really hyped for it as well, because I was really impressed with Angel Beats. PA Works has a really good track record so far, both in terms of writing, mainly in terms of animation. So I'm really interested in seeing how exactly they handle it, because it could be phenomenal, but like you said, I don't want to get my hopes up too much, because then it's going to be that much more depressing.
Well, like I always say, hope is the first step on the road to disappointment.
Oh, if that ever isn't the truth. Ooh.
Especially with anime, I mean,
good gosh.
Hype is poison.
Hype is terrible. I learned that the hard way with Amagi Brilliant Park. Good God, what a pile of shit.
What was that one? What's the Japanese name for that one?
It's actually called, for the Japanese name, Amagi Brilliant Park.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I feel like I've seen something from that, but I don't remember.
It's the show where it's Kanye West, 50 Cent, Queen Latifah, where they took the rappers' names and actually made them character names.
What?
Yes. It's from the same writer of the light novels of Full Metal Panic, from the same studio that did the anime adaptation for the second season, as well as Fumofu, Kyoto Animation. So it's got the same director as well. Full pedigree.
Oh, it's Kyoto Animation.
Kyoto Animation.
Okay.
So
that's all I needed. That's all I needed. You should have told me that in the first place.
I should have, but it's built up so well in the first episode. Theme park's gonna close. Guy used to work for it, gets asked on a date by this cute girl. Cute girl pulls out a gun and forces him to go on a date. They go to this horribly bad amusement park. That's when they find out it's going out of business. He's recruited to basically run it and get enough money to make sure it doesn't close. Will it close? Will it not? What's going to happen? Well, hey, guess what? We're not going to focus on it at all until the end of the friggin' anime. We're going to file in a bunch of anime fan service, including bare ass shots in the first episode. Yes, that's right. Bare ass shots.
Kyoto Animation.
Basically pander around. Oh, it's quite possibly the biggest pile of shit ever. I'm sorry. I had to kind of go into that there because it makes me angry. Like, literally physically makes me angry.
Yeah, I remember looking at that one. I saw that one. That was KyoAni.
Oh, I was so hyped for it though, because of the team working on it. Less so Kyoto, more so the team behind it, and it was. Oh.
I mean, I'm sorry to break it to you, Michael, but I think you should not expect that from anything. I don't think you should expect anything from anything Kyoto Animation does anymore, no matter who's involved.
I learned that the hard way.
Because it's Kyoto Animation, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day, unfortunately.
Sad but true.
But anyways, we're talking for a long time. We should stop now.
That's my fault.
Thanks for joining me on this news section, Michael. Thanks for talking with me about this shit. There's some stuff that's worth looking forward to, and a bunch of junk that is junk.
Yeah, hey, we suffered through it, so you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to read it at all anymore. Or you don't have to look at it yourself. No reading.
You're welcome, by the way.
No reading required for you. All right. Thanks, Michael. See ya.
Pleasure's all mine.